Hi guys, and welcome back to Mummy Cooks Homemade. My name's Hayley for anybody that doesn't know, and today, this is a date roll with fresh cream and butterscotch sauce, and it's so easy. Now I'm using date paste because it's easier. If you use regular dates, you've got to whiz them all in the food processor. So I'm using date paste. And I don't have to use the food processor because you've got to bring it to this stage anyway. So yeah, full recipe will be down below. I'll tell you, ooh, that's boiling water. I'm going slowly because I'm measuring it on the scale. Off the top of my head, can't remember how much it was. But like I said, it will be below. So some bicarb went in. Take it off the scale. And because the water's hot, it's going to help me to mash up that date paste. Once I've mashed it up a little bit, I switched to a whisk. And then it becomes a little bit easier. Sorry for that noise with the I can't say the word because it'll go off. Alexa. That was Caitlin on the bed behind me. So I'm just going to mix this and it becomes a loose paste then. Like I say, if you're using whole dates, you would have to put them in a food processor, add the water into that processor and the bicarb and whiz it up to this state. So I've got, I had the date paste, so I could completely skip that step and just do it this way. The size pan you're going to need, I'll put that below as well. I've never made a roll before, strangely enough, but Steve wanted a date one, and I've been saying for weeks that I would make it, and I mentioned it, and Scott Cullen was like, ooh, yeah, if Steve's eating that, I won't mind seeing it. So, yeah, you can thank Scott Cullen for this one. You wanted to see it. So you've got to leave that to cool down. It only takes about 5-10 minutes. And then you'll add a little tiny bit of butter, some brown sugar, you can see there's nothing difficult about this at all. Give that a mix in. Just make sure all that sugar's mixed in there. Shockingly, both of my girls really enjoyed it. There's some left for today's pudding, so that's what they're having for today. This takes a couple of eggs. This is why you've got to allow it to cool, you see, otherwise it's going to cook your eggs. Yeah, I wasn't sure the kids would eat it, but yeah, they really enjoyed it. I went to get me sieve. Not over much flour in this either. It's the waiting for it to cool down, and then when it's cooked as well, your sponge, you've got to wait for that to cool down as well before you can put your cream in it. Now I put quite a lot of cream in mine and I didn't go to the edge because I've not done a roll before. I didn't go right to the edge thinking, oh, once I roll it up it's going to just all squirt out sort of thing, but it didn't. So I ended up with quite a lot of cream, not that anyone was complaining in the house, in the roll. So I think I would spread it thinner next time and spread it out to the edge. learn as you go. That's all baking is. But I will definitely be making more rolls now I know how easy they are. And that was so easy to make. So I'm just going to pour it onto the pan. Remember, it's not a deep, thick cake you're making. So you just want to... I looked at it and I thought, there's absolutely no way this is going to make a roll. A Swiss roll type thing. There's not enough batter. What a flop. That was what was going through my head at this point. And I thought, well, spread it out, see what happens. It was perfect. So soft. So make sure you spread it right out in your pan. Right into the corners. As you can see, it does spread out. I've got the dog behind me now. I tell you, I do a voiceover, I get stalked. If there's not a kid in the room, there's one banging on a wall, or the dogs are near me. So that's all I did, just spread it out. Get a tap, get rid of the air bubbles. And that took about 15 minutes to cook on gas 4. So when it comes out of the oven, take a piece of parchment and you want to flip your sponge from the baking tray onto the paper. Like so, and then squash it with the tray like I just did. It didn't make no difference, don't worry. Made no difference. And you're going to take the baking paper off carefully. You can see how soft that is. Now I'm trying to keep it low down to the cake. You can see I'm pulling it backwards and it'll catch there. It didn't make any difference. It was absolutely fine. Just tease it off. And don't pull it upwards in the air. Pull it along the cake. Now I've heard people say to roll it up and leave it rolled up. That way you'll be able to roll it up again afterwards. And I've also heard rolling it up once on that paper, which I did. I rolled it up and then left it a couple of minutes and then rolled it back out and put a towel over it and left it to cool down. And that was all I did. Left it to go cold. This is the butterscotch sauce, so it was double cream, butter and brown sugar, and that's all that is. And you only need to cook this, you cook it until all the sugar's dissolved, then for 2 to 3 minutes more, but don't allow it to come to a boil. And that was as easy as that. You're not making a caramel, it's a butterscotch. Again, I'll put that recipe below. I'm just showing you that's all it took to make it. You can still see there's some tiny little lumps of butter. Just keep on stirring, because if sugar wants to do anything, it wants to burn on the bottom of that pan. The cream was simply a 300ml pot of fresh double cream, and it was whipped up to peaks, quite stiff peaks. Now you could, once the butterscotch sauce is cold, add some of that into the cream and make it a butterscotch cream if you wanted to. I just left mine. So I had the date taste to the cake, the Swiss roll, then I had the fresh cream, and then I add the butterscotch sauce on top. So now it's just starting up the sides, and I'm going to turn it off. You're not looking for a thick caramel for a banoffee pie or anything like that. I just left it to cool and poured it into a jug. I made this last night, so today the entire thing will be gone. The kids have their second piece and Steve will have the last piece. You can see just the small bubbles up the side of the pan. Bubbles are getting bigger and I'm going to turn it off. As it cools down, it's going to thicken. So everything's cooled down now. If you left that butterscotch sauce overnight, it will get thicker. So that's how thick I had the cream. It's at this point, if you wanted to, you could pour some of that butterscotch into the cream and mix it up. But I chose not to do that. And you can see I left quite a margin on the outside, thinking that as I rolled it, it would like smush it out. But it didn't. So I'm going to roll. All you do is pick up your grease proof, push that sponge forward. Do it tighter than what I did. I thought I'd done it quite tight, but I didn't. Look, I'm looking for that popped. I'm thinking to myself, oh, my hands. I'm looking for that cream that's popped out, but it didn't. So I just trimmed up the edges and ate them, as you do. Chef's perk. And I'm looking for something to put it on. Just squeezing that a little bit. So I just took off the end with no cream in. And I'm checking the other side. And there was that bit there. And I trough those, obviously. And I'm still thinking to myself, what can I put it on? But there we are. You could dust it with icing sugar if you wanted to, but I wasn't that concerned, to be perfectly honest. So you can see how thick my cream is. Should have pulled it in a little bit tighter as I was rolling it. But it made no difference to that taste. It was so good. And you can see how light that sponge is. Some caramel there. Caramel. Butterscotch. That's the one I'm thinking of. Got caramel on the brain. And there you have it. It was really, really nice. A fast recipe. Give it a go. Let me know if you give it a go. Don't forget to comment down below. Like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.